Hey, this is Matt from InvestiQuant. Today is Tuesday, December 22nd, 2020. And as we approach Christmas, I figured we would keep on with some of our seasonality studies like we've done over the past couple weeks. And today we'll be looking at a seasonality day, specifically today's date, December 22nd. So we've got all kinds of different seasonality studies you can do within Discover, and with this being a known seasonality period that often has a bias with it, associated with it being around Christmas, I figured we would look at what has happened historically on December 22nd. So let's go ahead and take a look at that right now. We're going to be looking at all four instruments. The setup's going to be based upon entering the market long at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time and exiting at the close, which is 4:15 p.m. Eastern Time. And since this is a seasonality study that we're going to be looking at, I'm not going to add any other information to it other than the actual seasonality date, which is going to be the 22nd of December. So I'm not going to be putting moving averages, opening locations like I like to do with all of the technical patterns that I tend to look at. I just want to look at this date specifically as it's one of the days leading up to Christmas. So I've added both of those from the active today section. I was able to grab the 22nd from the day of the month category, and then December over here comes from the month category. Both of those are added. Now I can hit view results. All right, here we go. So these are the results of going long at the open of regular trading hours, which is 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and exiting at the close of regular trading hours, which is 4:15 p.m. Eastern Time, when it is the 22nd day of December. So with it being a specific date like this, we won't have a sample for every day between today, looking back towards 2003, we do have a couple of these days that are going to be falling on weekends that are not trading days. So we've got 12 samples here to look at. So looking at the last 12 samples in the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, and the Russell, 3 out of 4 of them in the S&P closed above their open. That is also true for the NASDAQ, so 75% win rate there as well. For the Dow, 2 out of 3 of those have closed above the open, with win rate coming in at 67%, and then Russell coming in at 58%. So we don't have a whole lot of samples here to look at. We're just looking at data back to 2003. But since then, more often than not, this period where you're looking at the 22nd day of the month in December has ended up with what would be a green daily candlestick. And while we're here, why don't we just go ahead and take a look at the charts. We'll look at the S&P charts. I'm going to click on this View Daily Charts button. We can just look at these samples since there's not a whole lot. It won't take long. So if I click on that, we can look at all of these samples dating back to 2003. So here's the most recent sample. That looks like that was a pretty choppy day, not much range, did not really go anywhere, just kind of sideways action. The year before, another kind of choppy session. Looking back further, this is 2015, this one, a little bit of a push lower off the open that started grinding higher the rest of the session. Another choppy day here looking back at 2014, 2011, kind of grinding higher, not much range on this day, even though it looks like it was kind of directional to the upside. Another day here, 2010, this one mostly moving higher. We're seeing lots of small ranges. Here's another choppy day back in 2009. 2008 here, the first day that looks like it was actually weak. Looking back a little bit further, 2006, another day that looks weak, not a whole lot of range here, and 2005, kind of grinding higher most of the day. It seems like we've seen, of the samples we've seen, it seems like this is kind of more common. Here's another one, 2004, another choppy session that finished up, and 2003, another pretty choppy session, finishing up near the highs, but not a whole lot of range there. So this day has not historically, at least dating back to 2003, been a day of like home run type trading. It's been mostly a quieter session, and more often than not, it has closed above the open, at least looking back to 2003. So hopefully you found that helpful. As a heads up, there will be no more morning daily IQs for the rest of the week. I'll be taking off here for Christmas. Should have one out this afternoon, but I will be back with a new video on Monday following Christmas. So have a great week. Good luck the rest of the week, and we will see you next time.